Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new episode of the No ID podcast. This is season 7. Season 7. I have here a man that I became a fan of about 2-3 months ago. I saw him here at Virginia Championship Wrestling in Norfolk. A big fan of Devantes. He's the Hosse of Hosses. This man is a beast. All right. I want to go ahead and introduce. I already said his name, but I would let your man introduce himself to everybody.
Absolutely, man. Like you said, Devantes, man. Hoss of Hosses, man. Been independent wrestling. Been doing this for close to 5 years now, man. And pleasure to be here, man.
Hey, appreciate you being a guest on the show, man. So 5 years, how did you start that journey into getting into professional wrestling?
It's funny. I always tell people I had no intentions on becoming a professional wrestler. It literally was a free workshop that was going on in Philly, where I'm from. My brother was like, "This school's around the corner from my house, so they're having a free workshop. You want to just come with me?" I'm like, "Sure, let's do it." And I just got bit by the bug. But I've always grew up loving and watching wrestling, but I had no intentions on becoming a wrestler.
Most, I'm a huge wrestling fan, and when I saw your body of work, I was like, excuse my language, like, dang, this dude big as shit. And I was like, okay, this dude is a beast. So, as far as being a fan of wrestling, like, what you probably came up with Attitude Era, ECW, Nitro.
uh, all of that, man. I mean, those are the glory years, obviously. I mean, and I'm happy you threw ECW in there, man. Again, being from Philly, ECW's in our backyard, so we grew up going to was it Rittner Street in South Philly, going to those matches back in the day. But yeah, that was that pocket, that attitude era was definitely my time.
Are you watching wrestling? Well, are you watching wrestling now? Have you seen like the product shift and everything? Because there's a lot of independents out there that I've actually have fallen in love with. Outside of the mainstream, you know, like got your WWE and your AEW. So I've been more like MLW and NWA and Memphis wrestling now. So I actually like those
Hmm.
shows. Have you been catching up on anything? Have you ever came across anything that's like really inspired you recently with the current climate of the wrestling industry?
Yeah, I mean, when you get into this business, obviously you go from looking at it from a fan to a worker, and you start appreciating, guys that might not have the greatest gimmick, but their work in the ring is the best. Like, getting into this business, I became a big Ring of Honor fan because just like the work, like I think from a pure wrestling standpoint, nothing else other than wrestling, I thought they was top notch as far as like in ring matches. So yeah, getting into this business, before it was straight WWE, WCW back in the day. Remember, it was WCW used to come on at 8, so from 8 to 9, me and my brother would watch WCW. Then when Raw came on, we switched. So but getting in this business, it's more about the wrestling than it is the promos with me. So ROH was that.
Most definitely. So you had 9 o'clock. My bedtime was 9 o'clock. So the whole attitude era, I legitimately missed. So I remember watching WCW Monday, Monday Night Nitro,
Hmm.
Thunder, and then Saturdays it was WCW Saturday Live or something, and then
Hmm.
Shotgun WWE WWF at the time Shotgun Saturday nights. That was my shows. I missed the Attitude Era because I had a day
Yeah,
at home at 9 o'clock.
I would tell you, I think my mom was just happy me and my brothers wasn't bothering her. She ain't care.
How's it like? How is the conditioning and everything as far as becoming a professional wrestler? Because you've seen shows like Tough Enough that give you a little bit of insight, and
Hmm.
then you progress on to it. You see like the behinds with the NXT. So how is the 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 actual putting in the work behind the scenes before you actually step into the ring? How is that conditioning and everything?
It's intense as you think it is. Of course, in the beginning, it's condition cardio. Like anybody who wants to get into wrestling, I tell people all the time, they're going to get you in shape first. You think that it's just, oh, I'm going to get in the ring and I'm going to do a whole bunch of moves. Like, no, you're going to run, you're going to do push ups, you're going to do burpees. I remember throwing up during conditioning. It's intense, man. So Tough Enough gave you a great picture of what you're getting into. They did a great job with that because so many people in my class, everybody lost weight within like 3 months. Everybody dropped like 15 pounds because it was that intense, man. And then you got to keep it up eventually, even when you get into having matches, debuting, man. You got to stay in shape. You got to be there for your opponent. You got to keep up with them, man. So that's conditioning is very important when it comes to this.
Most definitely. As any of the idols that wrestlers that you idolize, have you met or got to work with any of the idols, and how was that?
Uh, I met Jay Lethal. Like Jay Lethal, remember it goes back to I said I'm a Ring of Honor guy. So like I was on a card with Jay Lethal, and I remember Lethal from Impact. But I was on a VCW show with Impact, with Lethal, not the last show, the show in February. I think it was either February or March. But yeah, meeting him was dope. Wrestling Crowbar, because I remember Crowbar from WCW. So like stuff like that is dope, man. And being in the locker rooms with Lindsay Dorado, Ethan Page, all the big names. Yeah, I've been in the locker room with so many people, man. Would love to get to work with more of them, but I've been in the locker room, shared locker rooms, been on the same card with some of these big names. So, if you'd asked me that 10 years ago, I would never thought that would happen.
I was at the show with Jay Lethal, and I actually had to thank this man because when he left Impact, when I was upset when he left Impact, and then when he went over to Ring of Honor, and it was just like it was no gimmick. He was just straight Jay Lethal, and he held that world television title and that world championship title.
Yeah,
It was like a run of everything. I was tuned in every
yeah,
week.
yeah.
So he bridged the gap, and like I said, wrestling fan and connoisseur.
Yeah.
I interviewed Shane Taylor, the Wold, Darius Lockhart, and they opened my eyes up to so many things, man. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, like wow. I'm too old to start wrestling now.
Right. Okay.
Like, me.
Never too old, man. Never too old, brother. Never too old.
I'm, I'm 33. My prime is behind me right now. You know
I'm
what I mean?
33 right now, dude. I put it to you this way. I started when I was 28,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm 33 now. Listen, I always tell people DDP started when he was 37 years old, man. Diamond Dallas Page. Ain't never too late.
Yeah, man, it's me. If I was to get into it, it would probably be a personality or be on commentary or something. I just can't do
I got you.
yeah,
I got you.
cause I grew up a Teddy Long fan,
Uh-huh.
and to see his work is immaculate. And what's crazy is I'm not going to compare you, but I say that you are, in my opinion, the version of Mark Henry. I can actually see you do the Hall of Pain and
Yeah.
everything. With your recent work, like
Yeah.
Sharkies and stuff like yeah, this
Uh-huh.
shit dope. You know what I mean?
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
So, have you ever had like a weird experience while getting into the ring, or like something crazy happened while you was in the ring? Because you hear the stories about wrestlers, excuse me, pooping on themselves or too many body shots or something happened. Have you ever had like anything?
Uh, Not in a match. I've had something similar to that during practice. I took a body slam, and I think I just hit the mat a little too hard, and it was the level past a fart. It was a shark. you know, and I was just all I kept saying to myself is, "Thank God, this wasn't a match, man." I just ran to the bathroom, did what I had to do, came back.
That's we've been like
I've
that.
had those, but I'll tell you something. There are a lot of guys, and I've wrestled some of them that are in gorilla position, about to go out, and the nerves is kicking in. You might got a packed house, and you like, oh my god, either I got to piss or I got a number two. And I've seen ring announcers stall the crowd, like just start playing music, random music or whatever. You know what I mean? To stall the crowd so you can go handle your business. I've seen that done too. So.
So how did the connection with But you do MCW as well too, right? I've seen you
No,
do.
I
Not
don't
just
do.
you don't do
I
that
do
yet.
VCW. Yep.
VCW. How did that start? How did because you're from Philly, so how did that connection with VCW?
So one of the promoters, Jonathan Elliott. I know he went by height. He used to be a Chikara guy, and Chikara is where I came from, out of Philly. So he knew me from there. But I was just doing like ring crew, and then I think I was on a card with him one time when I first started, and we're cool on Facebook and things like that. And I post stuff on Facebook every now and again. And he just messaged me one day, was like, "Hey man, I see some of your work. I would love to see you come down to VCW." And that's basically how that started.
Yeah, I've seen you a couple of times, and now you joined. Was it the Sharkies? You're in the
Yeah,
stable now.
yeah,
I can actually see you guys going for the VCW tag team titles. That's like an image. That would be like a banger match with y'all and Golden Pinky. And
yeah,
I'm not biased, but Benjamin Banks, man, I've known that man since kindergarten. So
yeah,
when I
yeah,
finally saw his wrestling, I was like, oh no, we gotta. I want to see that banger so bad, bro.
yeah,
It's
absolutely.
amazing. So we got the Liberty Lottery match coming up. Are you gonna be? Have you put your name into the hat for that, or?
I would love to be, man. They put the card up. I got him in a tag match, man. It's me and I'm going against Boar and what's my man Phil Brown, and the dude Brock is on my team. It's us two versus them.
Okay.
So yeah,
I
that
mean,
works.
I'll be there. I
Yeah, hell
definitely,
yeah,
be there, bro. What is like the ultimate goal? Because you see a lot of wrestlers, like for instance, The Rock. You see John Cena, who is like now a megastar. You see Triple H is trying to have jumped into like different avenues outside of wrestling and transition into later things like acting. You see Stone Cold going into podcasting and movies. Is that something that you want to eventually branch off into? Or are you using this just like your wrestling platform to expand into like more of a household name?
I mean, I would absolutely love that, man. But I'm one of those guys that I truly appreciate the journey. I think when you start looking at like, all right, man, I want to be here at this point, and then you don't get there, and then you're pissed because I've seen workers. I wrestled this guy and he's in AEW. I wrestled that guy, he's in WWE. Why am I not there? So I'm one of them guys that I just appreciate every opportunity that I get, and what comes of that happens. I go with the flow, more than what's the end goal.
Most definitely. So who
hmm
was that wrestler that influenced you to start this journey? Like who was that wrestler that really caught your eye?
For me, I was always a Bobby Lashley fan. I was a Bobby Lashley fan. I even in Impact, when he was in Impact, I loved everything about Bobby Lashley, man. If you look, my spear is Bobby Lashley's spear, the spinning spear, straight stole that from him. I put it out there, but yeah, Bobby Lashley was one of the guys, man. Jay Lethal, always loved Jay Lethal, man. And when it came to Jay and Bobby, we've seen in the past, black wrestlers not the greatest gimmicks, and you've seen these two guys. They were just black men. They didn't have like a goofy gimmick attached to them, man. And that's what I was, especially Jay Lethal and Ring of Honor, man. I thought he carried that great.
Yeah, it was every Saturday night at 10.
hmm
It was Jay Lethal, and I was
hmm
upset that he dropped the title. And I saw him go to AEW. Now I'm seeing him get his shine, but that man needs his just due.
Yeah.
And yeah, and Shane Taylor was another one.
I like
Um,
Shane.
I love Shane, man. The Shane Taylor promotions, I love them. And Darius Lockhart was somebody that I saw the Black Wrestling Allegiance one day, and I was like, oh no, I gotta interview this guy. And he growing up, you did see a lot of us, well, a lot of black wrestlers with these gimmicks, and
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
as I got older, when I saw Nation of Domination, I'm like, well, this, when I got older, I'm like, this is the Nation of Islam. They just turned them into a heel faction. and then I looked at Ron Simmons' journal, like, oh, first black world heavyweight champion, and I don't know what Vince was thinking, making him Farouk Assad and all that other stuff. But you see now, like you see yourself, you see Golden Pinky, you see Shane, you see
Mm-hmm.
Bobby Lashley. Is no gimmicks. This is black men,
Mm-hmm.
black wrestling, and you
Mm-hmm.
see black heavyweight champions is something that's very rare. Like
Yeah.
we'll get a mid card, a couple tag team
Yeah.
titles. That's where the buck
Yeah.
stop.
Yep. Yep. That's usually how it happens, man. That's exactly. We all notice it, man. Some of us are a little scared to bring it up, but I just like to be honest, man. But yeah, that's definitely what it was, man. Like you said, tag team, make an IC champion, maybe US champion, but when it comes to being, main event WrestleMania, we don't get that slot. So
Yeah.
that's why we praise it when you get a Kofi Kingston or you get a Big E, you get a Bobby Lashley, because we're not used to seeing it. Or
No.
Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, you know.
Facts. Or Naomi. Shout out to them. If I can get them on no ID, I
Yeah.
would love to get them up here. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean?
Hmm.
So, is there a moment in this journey that you have that's been like, oh shit, I can see myself doing this consistently every day. I can consider this because this is your career, pretty much. Have you
Yeah.
had that oh shit, this is I'm actually doing it moment?
Um, I think the moment for me was when guys from major corporations actually like knew who I was, and I'm like, well, you know me, oh yeah, I've seen your work before, or I had Jake something from he was in Impact. I don't know if he's still there now, but like just like one day we was just on the card and he just like watched my whole match. Didn't speak to him. He just like walked up to me and was like, "Hey, I've seen you before. You're pretty good." And I just watched your whole match and just complimented my match. Obviously, you want the criticism too, especially from vets like that. Tell me where I'm doing wrong so I can get better, and he just kind of made me feel like I belong. And this was like earlier in my career, so that was one of the moments that I could think of off top.
Yeah, definitely. So how do you like get noticed? Is it just social media posts? Is it like old school MC Hammer? You put something onto a disc and start mailing it out to these promotions? How does it work?
No. So I came from Chikara, and Chikara had like the IWTV hookup, Independent Wrestling Television app, and that's a big thing in the Indies right now. It's like $10 a month, and you can watch whatever promotions, over like 200 promotions or whatever on there, and they got live shows and things like that. You can just go on the app, but Chikara um had that connection. So and at that time, Chikara was a household name as far as like the indie scene. So we had a lot of eyes on us during our shows. So even when Chikara ended, um, people seen my work, and that's how the booking started. Like, hey, I seen this match on IWTV, or I seen this, Chikara posted this on YouTube. So I don't know if you're familiar with Chikara. Chikara was a wrestling promotion. So that's how the bookings started happening. And obviously, you got to go there, you got to perform, you got to do your thing, you want them to bring you back. So that's how the booking started flowing for me. And you get help, by the way. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, you get help. Some people, I met a lot of decent people, a lot of good friends that pull strings for me. Want to see you do well, so they'll put you somewhere where a lot of eyes are going to be at, man. So that's happened as well.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, my week consists of Monday Raw, Tuesday maybe NXT 2.0, Wednesday AEW,
Hmm.
Thursday MLW, Friday NWA,
Hmm.
Saturday NWA USA, Sunday breather, and then of course when VCW comes to Sonic Temple, is y'all because I'm keep it honest, keep it real. I've paid and gone to these WWE events when they came here to 757, and they're okay. But then I've gone to VCW and I'm like, oh shit, this shit is a little bit more lit than the
Hmm.
actual
Yeah,
WWE. And you see a lot more grit and grind because you know you guys are trying to actually get to that level and
yeah.
exceed. So
And I'm gonna tell you this too. A lot of it is, and I get it. You know, WWE is for everybody, but WWE comes off like it's more so for children. And it's like being 33-year-old, being in our 30s, or people that are in our late 20s. Is like we want to see something maybe that's a little bit more uh TV 14 at least. A little bit more adult content. You know what I mean? So
yeah, you guys are lit. And I
yeah,
think it's dope. I was joking with my homegirl because the first time we went, she's like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I said, man, I ain't never been. You ain't never been. Shit, you don't know what it's like. She got into us. Now we go every time we get a chance. But she pointed out, she said it's about you. She said, damn, that's a big ass motherfucker right there. I was like, I was like, yeah, I mean, this dude is legit. Like, just watch him. I said, he's agile in the ring. It's a great storytelling. He's the Hoss of Hosses. And since you've mentioned that you like a big Bobby Lashley fan, I actually see the comparisons. I actually see that. And, hopefully down the line, maybe one day you guys can get a match
yeah,
somewhere on the card somewhere.
yeah.
Now that would be awesome. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely.
So for the fans out there, the ones that's listening to No ID and listen to your journey, brother, what advice do you have for anybody that's looking to get into the industry or looking to get into professional wrestling and follow that journey?
First thing I always tell people is I just got asked this question actually at a show I was at a couple of weeks ago. I would tell, don't care what people think. The jokes are going to come. You doing that fake stuff? All of that nonsense. And when you get in it, commit because you got to think about it. Wrestling school is not cheap. So commit all the way. If you're going to do it, commit. You're going to lose some of your social life. Your weekends are going to be filled with ring crew, because you don't just automatically start doing matches. You got to do ring crew, means setting that ring up, setting them chairs up, setting the floor mats out, all of that stuff, man. Commit to it. And then when you get to the point where you work, commit to it even outside of it, where as far as your eating and things like that. And when you debut, invest in yourself, invest in some good gear, look the part, you know. Those are the things that I tell people, man. Don't cheat the ring neither. I see a lot of that going on sometimes, man. Don't cheat the ring. Don't cheat the fans.
No, hell no.
Hmm.
Don't even do that in comedy. And
Yeah.
don't cheat the fans. It's crazy you brought up ring gear. I remember watching Extreme Cheapskates, and the guy was up there trying to become a wrestler, and he had a tryout for Impact. And he duct taped his shoes, his wrestling boots. He just didn't look the part. And I think Kurt Angle just laid him out that day. He was like, look, you're cheating the fans. You're cheating yourself. Look the par. So I'm pretty sure it's like a lot of swag you guys got to have to
Yeah.
actually get into the attire and then walking because you own your shit. I noticed you got great crowd presence. You own your shit when you walk down that ramp. So I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, hopefully, and I mean hopefully we go ahead and put that title over your head.
Yeah. I would love
ECW,
that. I
yeah,
would love
champion.
that.
So
Yeah, Ken Dixon. Ken Dixon got to give me that. I need that, man. You got to give me that title shot.
we got to get at least 15 minutes between the two of y'all. That'll be like a dope match.
Oh, that's gonna be a war.
But I'm in your side. So, when they boo y'all, I actually cheer for y'all because I
Yeah.
actually like to go for the hills.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I was always the same way, man. Always went for the hill.
This is what it's about, bro. If
Listen,
they
I
want,
remember Taker CM Punk. Taker CM Punk WrestleMania, man. I was going for Punk so hard, man. You knew he was gonna lose, but I was going for Punk so hard. I love a great heel, man.
yeah, I do too. And I actually went for Punk too. And for the listeners out there, I want to throw a shock out there. Stone Cold Steve Austin was a heel his entire. That's what I heard.
Let me tell you this. Stone Cold, what made Stone Cold so great was he was a tweener. He was he wasn't a good guy, he wasn't a bad guy. he had the whole slogan, the DTA, he don't trust anybody. Like he was for himself, but I could see where you would definitely see him being a heel. Because he wasn't the smiling in your face, get the crowd hype guy at all. So I get where that comes from.
You know what I mean? The tensions I got off of saying DTL hitting a damn Stone Cold Stunner, or even The Rock saying it doesn't matter to a substitute teacher. Shit is amazing.
Oh, listen, or the DX suck it. the crap shit. Dude, yeah, that was bad. That was bad back in the early 2000s, man. That was bad.
That's just, hey man, it's what we grew up on.
Yeah, yeah.
If if you could name the top 5 wrestlers, your Mount Trashmore, so 5 people that you influence you, or 5 that you just absolutely love and would love to work with, who would those 5 wrestlers be?
Uh, Jay Lethal. Um, I'm gonna throw one out there. Jacob Fatu from MLW. Uh, that's I ain't never been asked that question. I would love Shane Taylor. That would be 3. You said 5, right?
5.
Um, Calvin Tankman from MLW.
Ooh, okay.
I like Calvin. And the 5th one, man. Jeez, I would love a match between me and Will Hobbs, Powerhouse Hobbs. All
Okay.
big guys. Except Lethal. Everybody else is big.
Damn, you put Fatu in there. Fatu is underrated like a mother, bro.
I seen Jacob Fatu live, man. I love Fatu. For him to be that size and that agile is ridiculous.
And he was like the reason why I got into MLW.
Me too. Me too. Me
Yeah,
too.
he's a fucking beast.
Yeah, he is.
So, I mean, I know I would love to see him get on the bigger stage, but I think he's at the right platform for his creativity because there's no way. I wouldn't want them to tone down nothing that man done.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
seriously. I'm with you on that.
Shit. You know, well, I'm just going to keep going off topic, but I saw this guy called Charles Mason
Okay.
off of House of Glory, and he's like American Psycho. Like technical, he's legit. Like he's wearing like the bringing body bags to the ring.
Mm,
It's I don't know. It's like you can tell it's great. It's like great acting. It's not fake, but
mm,
you really can fall into like this storyline is good as shit. Like this dude is really into his scene. So,
mm-hmm.
but yeah, at IWT Fight TV. I know VCW just got with Tightrope from what I
Mm-hmm.
heard at the last event. So yeah, support local, support independent wrestlers by all means.
Mm-hmm.
Even when they go to the main screen, when you see them, say, "Man, I remember you when you was in
Mm-hmm.
VCW or you was on the ring." Support them because trust me, we need some more fresh
Absolutely.
faces on them scenes. If they want to get in contact with you, follow your matches. How do we do that?
So if you got IWTV, all you do is got to click in my name, Devantes, Devantes, and like everything that I have on there will pop up. If they get in contact, Twitter, Devantes, Devantes PW, Instagram is Devantes.pro. That's the best way. That's the best way. Just send me a DM.
That's great. And if you guys want to follow me, it's strictly_Rom on Instagram and Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
No ID podcast on Instagram, and No ID Media TV, where you will not only see this podcast episode, but previous episodes as well as my current stand up. No, you would not see me get into a professional wrestling ring at all.
Yeah.
You won't see it.
Let me tell you something, but man, comedy and wrestling is similar, man. Being put on the spot and having to perform, man. Except you by yourself, it's harder for you. You know what I mean? Definitely. Listen, man. I'm gonna tell you something. I take my hats off the comics, man. They said public speaking is one of the hardest jobs, but I'm like, you don't got to tell jokes in public speaking. Like you got public speaking, and you got to make them entertain them and make them laugh. One of
Yeah.
the hardest jobs ever.
You know, it is. And then when you got a comedic mind, I don't know if you get this, but people look. I'm 5'4", so people look at me. They think, "Oh, Insta, I'm gonna roast the hell out of them." Then I get the best of them. Like, oh man, I ain't come here for all that, man. You ain't
Yeah,
had to say that shit, man. You know, man, I was just playing. So it's a
yeah. You
side
get
note.
you get them cats, man. Trust me. I've been I'm a big comedy guy. I just went to the Erie Spears was just in Philly a couple of weeks ago. That is the wrong dude to mess with, man. Because he won't stop. Like he won't stop. If you start with him, and it's your fault for starting with him, but he won't stop, dude.
No, we're assholes, man. Like if you get us you get me on a good day, and I don't feel like roasting,
Yeah.
I'm gonna light you up.
Let me ask
But
you this though. I know this is your interview, but like
yeah.
when I heard comic, I was automatically like, yeah, I'm doing this because I love comedy. What card have you been on cards with like real big name guys?
hmm
Like who?
Uh, like okay, I got on the car with Michael Kyer
Mm-hmm.
last year.
Mm-hmm.
So if I tell this story, I'm gonna just tell the story to everybody. I tell this story all the time. I initially hit Michael Kyer up on Instagram. I
Mm-hmm.
said, "Hey, comedian, I fan of your work, been following you for years. Can I get you on the podcast?" Well, this is when the pandemic first happened. So when
Mm-hmm.
the pandemic first happened, whatever showcases I had got canceled.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to okay, we had to adjust to virtual comedy. He replies back and says, here go my phone number, give me a call, got his phone number, left him a voicemail. He calls me back. Now remind you, I left a voicemail, my name, phone number. Who the fuck is you? I said, oh, I'm Rome Davis. I hit you up on Instagram about the podcast. What podcast, nigga? I said, Lord, I'm nervous now. Because I didn't call him on my lunch break.
Uh-huh.
So I interview him on the podcast. I'm nervous as shit interviewing this man on this podcast. He gets into me because I'm like, yeah, I ain't done a show in like 2 months because we in virtual comedy. I don't like virtual comedy. He gets on me about that. You need to do your virtual comedy, get your reps in, get your shit together. Oh, okay, cool. Offers me a spot on his morning show. So it was February 14th, so it was Valentine's Day when I actually interviewed this man last year. We go around and he says he's gonna put me up there like on a Tuesday. So I'm getting prepped up. I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and put a notice in at work, take time off, blah blah blah. He calls me up on a Friday night. Hey, you gonna do my morning show on Monday? But you told me Tuesday. Tell me when. Nah, you gonna do the shit Monday. You got truly funny shit. I said, yes sir, I got truly funny shit. Nah, family friendly shit. I said, yeah, I got family friendly shit. I'm giving you 3 minutes. You got 3 minutes to get your shit together. Be on time. My assistant's gonna contact you. If you're funny, we're gonna go ahead and keep bringing you on again. If you're not funny, we just gonna cut you out. My homeboys hit me up. I take a shit. I'm like shitting on myself literally. I'm like, bro. I'm like, bro. They're like, bro, we going out this week? I'm like, no. I shut down everything. I bought a voice recorder. I didn't perform this routine on this show numerous times. I'm like, I gotta get my shit together. I ain't want to tell them what was going on because I was already nervous. I locked myself up in my room, locked myself up in the house. I'm just like, oh gosh. So Monday morning comes around. I call out of work. Stomach hurt. And he was on Central Standard Time, so it was like a 3-hour difference between us. Bro, I pulled up that joint on that interview so early. I beat him and everybody up there. So, I'm just nervous. I'm like, oh God, I got Michael Kai here, man. This is my idol. Da 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 this, da da that. He goes, make sure you got your funny shit. Have a good show like that. I'm like, oh Lord. So another comedian was supposed to go up there with me. They kicked him off because he didn't show up on time. I get up there, I blacked out, I hit my 3 minutes. If anybody watches the video, I'm looking all up everywhere where I'm not supposed to look at because I was nervous. Look, this man, because he's
Hmm.
like that. So yeah, that's. I had to pee. I was hungry. This man done fussed at me about camera angles. He done fussed at me about sound. He didn't. I'm like, this man is getting at me all the time. But then one of my mentors was like, man, he's just testing you. He wants to see how bad you want it. So yeah, I had my out of body experience with
Yeah,
somebody with him, and that's the one I can
yeah,
tell you that toughened me up for the ones that I end up getting later on. But this man here, my comedy goat.
yeah. Michael Kyle, because I remember when he was doing like the street performances out in California, like that was some like unseen stuff, man. Like just like on the boardwalks and stuff. I'm like, wow, definitely a legend, man.
Definitely, man. Man, just a little note too. I did try to hit up VCW trying to work with them as a personality. Ain't nobody got back with me,
Yeah,
but if they listening.
got you, got you, got you. Hell yeah.
But before we sign out, I'm going to say make sure you follow Devantes on all his social media platforms. I'm gonna put them down in the bio. Whatever event you able to pull up to that this man is performing at, you is trust me, he's the Hoss of Hosses. You do
Hmm.
not want to miss this for the world. You understand what I'm trying to tell
Hmm.
you guys out there? Support him. If he's a heel, boo him.
Hmm.
If he's a face, boo him.
Hmm.
Man is awesome. You understand what I'm trying to tell
Hell yeah.
you?
Hell yeah.
And make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe to anything that both of us are doing. And
Yep.
I will be seeing you the end of next month.
Yes, sir.
My
Absolutely,
man.
brother.
Thank you.
Thank you, my man. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.